Salute to the recommendation DionsAura. Back in the video today. I'd like to bring you guys the worst plot armor moments in all of anime, all of fiction. I really don't know. I think Olama-sama, which is by the way who made the video, go tap into his channel and subscribe to tap into mine. Anyway, I think this is gonna be the worst plot armor moments of all time in like movies, TV show, anime, fiction, non-fiction. I don't know. We're gonna see. Vote. Tell me what your worst plot armor moments are in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And without any further ado, let's give it a view. I'm excited about this one, man. Let's get it. I want to see exactly what moments he's gonna say. I love these channels with these hard ass like AMV-ish kind of intros.
Google, plot armor is defined as a phenomenon in fiction whereby the main character is allowed to survive dangerous situations because they are needed for the plot to continue. It's common to hear people referring to characters having plot armor when they are able to succeed in certain scenarios that should almost guarantee a failure.
Yes.
So in today's video, I want to talk about some of the more infamous cases of plot armor I can find in fiction, with each case ranging from minor offense to completely asinine. But first, I think we need to understand what can actually be considered plot armor. After all, a singular definition can only do so much. Plot armor can extend to a lot of different situations. Whether it be a character winning a fight they should have lost or escaping certain death, shoot, some people see power-ups as a form of plot armor. But something that gets misconstrued is the fact that characters will need at least a little bit of plot armor to keep the story going.
True. If you had a moment where your back is against the wall and every time that happened you failed, there would be no story. There'd be no build-up, there would be no overcoming the obstacle, there would be no epic climax. None of that would exist. So that's a fair point. I do believe that there does need to be an element of plot armor. And I'm not against plot armor. I think plot armor is cool in some circumstances, but when it goes too far, that's a little ridiculous. Like, I'll save my worst plot armor take that I think I would put at number one for the end of this video, just in case he says it. But stick around to hear that. But yeah, plot armor is definitely a necessity, I think.
All aware that at least half of these series' goals is to stop a villain by the end of the run, so it's only natural to have characters push past improbable circumstances or just not take as much damage as they should. It not only creates tension, but also keeps characters available for more plot lines later on. And besides, I think we can all imagine how a series without plot armor would look like. Yes, I'm looking at you.
Okay, but let's be real though. Akame ga Kill is one of the best, like, I'm not gonna say one of the best animes ever, but it's one of my favorite animes that I personally watched. If you haven't watched Akame ga Kill, I would give it a try if you haven't seen it. It's really good, but yeah, he's kind of right. There's like no plot armor. By the way, the manga and anime have different endings because of like time scheduling shit that happened basically. People die. People die. No one is safe, bro. But that's a lot of anime. That's a lot of anime. So, you know, like, I mean, it's like a fair point, but it's like the same thing for Attack on Titan, you feel me?
My opinion, the problem isn't necessarily just characters conveniently winning impossible
Damn,
fights.
That was cold, bro. Just caught it like this. Like, yo, why'd he do that?
Power-ups. The problem lies more so in the reasoning behind said conveniences. You can easily justify power-ups if it makes sense and is consistent with the story. Naruto has been seen losing control over the Nine Tails when emotions are running high, so we should not be shocked when he gets stronger when those conditions are satisfied. The problem with plot armor arises when a character has something go their way with no explanation. With no explanation, we just have to take what we're seeing for face value. And what we're seeing is straight BS. This is when people gotta craft some random theories to try to make sense of why their favorite characters survive certain doom. But you know what's even worse than no explanation? A bad explanation. People love using the reasoning that a series gives and treat it as irrefutable logic. They'll be like, bro, they explained why Batman survived that fall. It's because of his suit. Which, okay, that makes sense if the fall was from a window or something. However, how strong can this suit be to allow him to survive a fall from space, hitting the ground at terminal velocity and standing up like he only stubbed a toe?
Okay. Plot armor. He's Batman. But to be fair, Batman has a contingency plan for literally any situation. Like, I don't know much about DC. I'm a Marvel nerd. You got me. I'm not a DC nerd, bro. I don't know much about Batman. I've actually never seen a Batman movie. But in Marvel, there's this stuff called like, what is it called? Captain America's shield's made out of it and shit. I don't remember at the moment. Anyway, really hard material, really hard metal. There's got to be some shit in the DC universe equivalent to that, right? Like, there's got to be some sort of metal, some sort of like element, some sort of thing from space or something, like technology that Batman can access because he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. He can buy whatever he wants, bro. I think that this is feasible for Batman, but if it was like any other normal person with no powers, I'd but it's Batman.
It's just plot armor. Another example of a BS explanation is when Tanjiro just pulled thunder breathing out of his butt. We're running at full sprint for who knows how long, and then all of a sudden your leg gives out. Once I seen this, I was already looking at this scene kind of funny. Then he remembers a random conversation with Zenitsu about thunder breathing and can just do it like that? Terrible plot armor. Okay, you caught me. I just wanted to hate on Demon Slayer, but I won't lie. I know.
I'm not even gonna say nothing, bro. Bro just wanted to hate, and you know what? I respect that. Sometimes you gotta have that D1 hater energy to keep the plot moving. You feel me? I understand you, Osama.
Because all other breathings are derived from sun breathing. So naturally, someone who has sun breathing can also do the other breathing techniques fairly easily. The explanation checks out, but this is one of those cases where I just have to accept that a lot of the theatrics were done for entertainment. And plus, I don't even need to bring up a moment like this if I wanted to talk about plot armor and Tanjiro. This demon should have murked Tanjiro multiple times during this battle. Better breathing shouldn't be helping injuries from attacks like this. But
true.
That's neither here nor there. I can ignore these moments because they are ultimately a net positive for the series and aren't really plot bending. It's a bit harder to ignore the plot armor of someone like Reiner from Attack on Titan.
Here we go. This is what I've been waiting for, bro. Attack on Titan, bro. What is he gonna say about it, bro?
It was established fairly early on that he wasn't like that when it comes to the Titan shifters. Eren was beating him in their first fight and was going to actually win if not for Burrito's interference. Seeing him get dog-walked by Eren, who wasn't even that experienced at that point, was a for me to realize that Reiner was not built for any of these battles for real. And it turned out that those thoughts were not even headcanon. He was dead, not even meant to be on this mission. So anytime I see him have a near-death experience, I just kind of roll my eyes. His existence after the second season is kind of mind-boggling. I know he's a Titan shifter, but seriously, some of these things he's surviving surely bring up at least some questions. Realistically, when Levi caught Reiner and stabbed him twice, he should have been cooked. And we'll ignore the fact that Levi had enough time to stab him twice, but not slice off his head for some reason.
Yeah, okay, this one has a little bit of plot armor. It's not like Reiner's abilities make him invincible. Like, he's the armor titan, sure. But he got cut through the neck, and he's still conscious enough. They still feel pain. He's stabbed through the neck, bro, by Levi. Levi didn't cut his head off. He didn't die from that. He had enough time to regen it. I don't know. I guess you could say that works with the Titan shifting power, but really, it could be a plot armor.
Not like it would have mattered anyways.
Could be a plot
One of
armor
the places Levi hit was the neck, and Reiner didn't even struggle to transform. This is when we learned that he transferred his brain's consciousness to the rest of his body to transform. Okay. And he does it again when he's able to regenerate after his head gets blown off. I mean, like, sure, it's explained, and it's not really a bad explanation either, and Loki just feels like we really need Reiner to survive. So let's let him have this one thing so he doesn't get absolutely cooked in these battles. But fine, whatever.
Little bit of plot armor there.
I can get over myself. But this type of stuff happens so often throughout the series for him. People even meme him by calling him the plot armor titan. It feels like Reiner's whole existence has been him being unable to die. Oh, yeah, that's right. Gene, that's kind of like one of the main points of his character. Still plot armor, though. Another wild case of plot armor.
Here we go, bro. I love One Piece. No, hold on. I gotta do something. I gotta really make sure y'all understand, bro. This is not a drill, gang. I really do love One Piece to the core, bro. I'm gonna be wearing this hat the whole rest of this shit. I do not care, gang.
Versus Crocodile. I feel like this is one of the more blatant examples of a character having plot armor. Luffy was no match for Crocodile. Crocodile was untouchable in this fight, literally. This fight was honestly just a showcase for all of Crocodile's abilities. This was the first fight Luffy straight up lost, and he got stabbed in the torso because of it. And what did we even expect? He fought Crocodile in a freaking desert. This man Luffy was battered, bloodied, and abandoned in a ditch.
Think about it, bro. The fact that Luffy won, low-key, I don't want to spoil because you would have to be caught up to One Piece to kind of understand what is going on. In terms of why Luffy kind of gets out of some situations that he might not, should have made it out of. He's fighting Crocodile in a desert, all right? Crocodile is a Logia user. He's literally made of sand, can transform his body into sand. He's the element of sand, bro. He's in a desert. How the fuck did Luffy win? You know what I'm saying? By a little bit of brain power, kinda, in his blood. But it's plot armor. It is. But you gotta watch the rest of the show to really understand why.
No debating.
Can't say more.
Dead to rights here. But then at Death's doorstep, Robin comes to save him because of plot. Okay, what do you want me to say? We can say that Robin was curious because of his initial D, but at this point in the story, Robin was not a Straw Hat. She had no reason to help Luffy for real. So this just happened to make sure Luffy stayed alive for the rest of the story. But I'm fair. I'll let that one slide because it's the main character. This isn't even the worst piece of plot armor in Alabasta. And I think we all know who I'm referring to. It's our avian friend, Pell.
Okay, Pell, I have no excuse for how Pell lived. I really don't. That is full plot armor, and I can't save you, Oda. Like Luffy, there's plot reasons as to why shit happens and why shit doesn't happen to Luffy, and friendship and shit. it gets explained. Pell he's just a bird Logia. There's nothing saving Pell. There's no like reality bending fruit or anything. He's just a bird, you know, and he got blown up and fucking lived.
The final battle of the arc, there was a bomb that was threatening to destroy a large chunk of Alabarna, the capital of Alabasta. Pell grabbed this bomb, carried it into the sky, and sacrificed himself to get the bomb away from everyone. It's very noble to use your own life to save thousands of others. What?
He didn't die.
Is this a flashback or something? Why is he still alive? Pell should have been in someone's air fryer at this point. The only
Did he just put chicken legs on the screen? Yo, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Hit on him as if he ate the dang thing. Mind you, this bomb was getting hyped up a lot throughout the last parts of the arc, and Pell just comes out of it unscathed, no explanation. I dare one of you guys to give me a good explanation as to why someone could survive this. And I'm gonna tweak out if someone talks about him being a peregrine falcon. And before I get into one of them,
it doesn't make sense. Pell, genuinely, I believe that is plot armor. That was BS. Pell was alive after basically getting the equivalent of a fucking militaristic bomb blowing up a city on his head top. You know, he should be dead. He should be dead. He doesn't have any reality bending powers or nothing to guard him from that. That was bullshit.
The main perpetrators of having plot armor. If you're enjoying this video so far and you're new, you might as well subscribe.
Go ahead, that sub button, the Osama and me. You know what I'm saying? If you enjoy the reaction. If you don't, that's fine. Hit the dislike. I mean, at least you did something.
Let's talk about our favorite hero, Batman. And I've already touched upon him in this video because let's keep it a buck. This whole video could be about Batman and his plot armor. He's the main one guilty of it. First, let's get this out the way. Almost every single fight.
Hold on. Is the whole rest of the video about Batman? Gang, there's half the video left. Is it all about Batman? Oh my god. Okay, so we kind of get a little bit of some different stuff. I was about to say, bro,
Superman is already riddled with plot armor for Batman. It makes sense why it happens, but it's still BS. I like their fight in Justice League War because it goes how we expect it to go. Superman is just dog walking him at all points. Nothing Batman has works on him, and any attack he throws at him gets shrugged off. Granted, this is their first encounter in this universe, so Batman doesn't have the dreaded two-word phrase we don't speak of. Nevertheless, any fight between Batman and Superman should go something like this. Batman cannot keep up with super speed as a human. You can't even use the argument of Superman not wanting to hurt Batman because he wasn't even trying to murk him in this fight. He was trying to get info out of him the entire time. I guess we just forget Superman has super speed or something. He doesn't even need to knock out Batman. He can just incapacitate him in the blink of an eye. Kryptonite should barely be a factor too unless Superman gets snuck with it. There's no way.
I've never seen this series. I don't mean to cut him off. I've never seen this series. I've also never seen any of the Batman movies. I know, you know, just throw a stone at me, I guess. I'm sorry. So how is it that Batman lost to Superman? I've always wondered that. Like, how did Batman, I mean, not lost, win? How did Superman lose to, I'm so perplexed at the concept that I'm messing my words up. How did Batman beat Superman? How did that happen? Like, how did Clark Kent, that's Superman, right? That's his name. How did he lose to Batman? Batman has no powers. I don't care if you say he has a contingency plan. This man, fucking Superman, gets powered up from the sun and can do all type of shit, bro. He literally can super strength, super speed. He can end him in half a second. Say whatever you want. Kryptonite power, whatever the fuck you're gonna say. Oh, he has kryptonite. He put it in his tool or in his armor or something, bro. Superman could literally 1/2 of a millisecond blitz this man, dead, gone. What contingency plan do you have for the how? Do you guard it? How do you?
A simple rocket power punch is knocking down Superman like this. Batman's plot armor also extends past Superman to other powerful beings as well. Remember that one time Batman one-shot Sinestro with the Batarang? Don't rewind, you heard what I said. Remember that one time Sinestro, one of the strongest members of the Lantern Corps, got knocked out in one hit by a Batarang. What the heck is this thing made of? The most powerful weapon in the universe can be countered by a freaking boomerang shaped as a bat. I'd argue that superhero media like Marvel and DC are even more guilty of plot armor than anime. Like, you'll see a regular person like the Punisher who bleeds the same way as you and me beating up people like Dr. Doom and Wolverine, cause that makes sense. With that type of plot armor, give me 5 months and a bunch of weapons and I'll beat the Fantastic Four by myself.
Let's calm down.
Back to anime, we have one of the more infamous examples of plot armor. Killer Bee versus Sasuke. Let's get
Killer Bee the god! If you don't know Killer Bee, watch Naruto Shippuden. That nigga Killer Bee was spitting for the whole tribe, bro. The whole clan. He was rhyming the whole time, bro. There's no one like Killer Bee, bro. He was rapping every time he spoke. Bro is a real one.
This out the way.
And he's
Sasuke
him,
probably
too.
should have lost this fight. This fight was one of the most disrespectful and embarrassing L's for a character I've ever seen.
And Sasuke was pretty strong by this point. Like, Sasuke was literally confident enough in himself to go fight an 8-tailed beast, gang. By himself right here at this moment. He was feeling him out and shit. And Killer Bee toyed with him and rapped on his head top while beating him up. Are you like, what?
Killer Bee was hailing Sasuke, writing rhymes, and clowning his entire crew. If Karin weren't there to heal him, Sasuke obviously would have been packed up way earlier. Even when Sasuke caught B in a genjutsu, B just got up and hit Sasuke with a lightning lariat. And saying this attack did major damage is an understatement. Sasuke's neck, organs, and chest were all severely injured. But after getting healed yet again, Sasuke gets up and uses Amaterasu to win the fight. Just like that. Sasuke was dead to rights like 3 times in this fight, but he somehow wins? Nope, nothing suspicious going on over here. Like, this isn't even me trying to call Sasuke weak. There just should have been another way to showcase Killer Bee's strength without Sasuke dapping up the Grim Reaper every 5 minutes. The way it was done originally makes it look like Sasuke has crazy plot armor. Switching up the media again, I want to look at a popular...
It does make it kind of look like Sasuke has crazy plot armor, because to be honest with you, they kind of do. And it is explained kind of in a way in Naruto where the plot kind of makes sense, because like they're kind of descendants of gods and shit and reincarnated cycles or whatever the fuck you want to say. It's some crazy shit going on as to why some plot armor stuff happens, but nevertheless, it is plot armor. I don't feel like Sasuke should have won that. I really don't. Even if he had Amaterasu, I really don't feel like he should have won that, but he did, so... You know, whatever, right?
That is riddled with plot armor. It's the Karate Kid series. The Mr. Miyagi meat writer himself, Daniel LaRusso, should have
never actually seen it.
Lost like 2 of these finals in these movies. For context, Johnny was the champion for the past 2 years. Then Daniel comes in with a couple weeks of karate experience and wins with the injured leg. Fine, whatever, who cares? It's plot armor for a happy ending. It's something we can all expect at this point. However, that's not the worst case in the series. In the final movie of the trilogy, Daniel was flat out losing the entire time in the finals. And this was the plan, to make sure Daniel knows pain. However, it only took 1 moment for Daniel to focus, and he scores a point on the guy who was thrashing him the entire fight. I know he was scared before, so it was affecting him in the fight, but I refuse to accept that being the only thing that changed. Matt was beating him consistently throughout the movie, and it wasn't really close either. But 10 seconds of kata and the speech from Mr. Miyagi changed that? Either Matt Barnes is dumb as bricks, or Daniel LaRusso was just that much better at karate than him. So yeah.
I mean, there's a few sides you could say to this. You could say that he was, one, he was just scared, and when he finally got over his fear, he was in fact better than him because his fear was clouding his judgment. As, the proper saying goes is hesitation is defeat. So if you're scared of your opponent, you're going to hesitate. It's going to lead to your defeat. He could have worked over that. That plot armor happens in real life, so I wouldn't say so, but... There's also another way you can look at it. He was getting beat the whole movie. Dude got dogged. Dude got bullied. But in all that, he was getting beat by the man. He can see his attack. He can see his technique. He can see the way he's doing everything. So he had all that knowledge of all of his moves and what's going to come next from all the beatings that he had prior to it. So that kind of propped him up to have knowledge of how to beat him. It's like a Zenkai boost from Dragon Ball Z, if you want to think about it that way. That's kind of what it's 2 scenarios. I'm thinking of a way to explain it without saying it's plot armor. The third is it saying it's plot armor, and the dude, imagine you're the dude that lost, right? You're not the Karate Kid, you're the other guy. You're beating him, dogging him, destroying him the whole time. And when it actually matters, it's time to get in the ring, it's time to actually fight him for real. He dogs you in 10 seconds because he had a speech and a Zenkai boost. I'd be mad too. I'm not gonna say it's plot armor though. I feel like it's just a good storytelling.
Yeah, Matt Barnes is just dumb as bricks. And contrary to popular belief,
plot
armor also exists in real life. Let me paint the scenario for you. Imagine in the One Piece universe, pirate crews were able to trade crew members between each other. Imagine after Wano, after Luffy just beat one of the Emperors of the Sea in Kaido, Zoro.
So we just gonna spoil shit. I was trying not to spoil shit, but if we just gonna spoil shit, fuck it. Luffy dogged that. Kaido destroyed that man, Luffy, but Luffy got back in the end. That's really all that matters, bro. You can lose 3 times. That last time you got back.
Looks at him and says to himself, yeah, I don't think this guy can lead us anymore, so I'm gonna send him some.
Ooh,
and then in the middle of the night, Zoro talks to Shanks of all people and trades Luffy for Ben Beckman without telling any of the other Straw Hats. He also just throws Usopp in the trade because why not? What I've just described to you is the best analogy I can think of when explaining the Luka Doncic trade in anime terms. The trade makes no sense and there's no justification for it besides plot armor. It's the only thing that can make sense. I'd also say that character revivals can be considered plot armor depending on the circumstances. This rings true even more when there's no good explanation as to why it happened. Guess which series I'm going to use? Just guess. Ding, 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 ding. It's The Flash. For context, Iris West just dies because Barry hits her with Speed Force Lightning. I would say it's a long story, but that's just what happens. So she should be out of the story at this point, right? Apparently, she's one of the ones who can just choose not to be dead anymore. That's the...
I've never seen the show. You can just refuse to die? Like, you can just die and then be like, nah, and then just not die? Like, is that a thing you can do?
No explanation to give you. That's it. Since she's not supposed to be dead, she can just be like, no, and come back to life. Okay.
No! It's just
right. The video was a bit personal to me, and I'm honestly wondering if this even counts as plot armor. I'm not gonna directly spoil the series I'm talking about, but if you find yourself reading into clues too often, skip to this time of the video. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna spoil the series. So skip.
If you don't want to get spoiled on whatever he's talking about, bro, just skim ahead until I do this. That'll be your cue.
To the time. Nobara's revival at the end of the manga was rushed to the point it felt like plot armor was on the hero's side, and I knew this would happen. When we got confirmation the manga was ending in 5 chapters, I said that it's probably gonna get rushed, which basically anyone could see coming. Yet when Nobara came back in the next chapter, I saw people saying that it was done well because of foreshadowing. Just because something got explained doesn't mean it was done well. She wakes up like 20 minutes before the fights end and helps Itadori deal the finishing blow. The reason why I think it looks so crazy is because if the anime adapts the manga 1-to-1, Nobara's gonna show up like 1 minute before the fight ends and then just help deal the finishing blow, and then Sukuna's done for. Does that not look like plot armor? Hypothetical time again. Imagine during the Namek saga.
I'm not caught up all the way, so I don't really I don't have the context needed to give proper commentary and insight as to if that is plot armor or not. I'm not caught up, so I don't really know. So I'm just gonna let him do the analogy for me so I can, a dumb idiot like me can figure it out.
Saga after Vegeta got done, does that not look like plot armor? Hypothetical time again. Imagine during the Namek saga after Vegeta got done coughing up blood every 5 seconds, he was buried by Goku with his condition unknown. Events in the rest of the arc could go as normal as they can without Vegeta, but anytime we mention him, people are just extremely vague about his whereabouts. Like Shenron is shrugging his shoulders if they try to wish him back. Fast forward to the Cell saga, and things happen as close as they possibly can get to the original series without Vegeta being there. That means Cell gets his perfect form, the Cell games still happen, go on, transform, Goku dies, etc.
That also means there's no Trunks,
etc. Then during the final beam,
so Mecha Frieza, what?
Clash.
I guess Goku defeats him.
Cell looks like he's about to win. Boom! Vegeta shows up and sneak attacks Cell, allowing Gohan to win. And the so-called foreshadowing is characters being super cryptic about his whereabouts. Would it?
Is that kind of like JJK fans that are caught up? Is that kind of what it's like? Because that's kind of bullshit. Imagine, bro, that's kind of crazy, bro. Vegeta dies in the Namek saga. No inclusion in the story as to after that. They're trying to wish him back. He's like, I don't know where, I can't. Shenron, I can't wish him back. Whatever. They're like, okay, Vegeta's dead. Cell saga happens. Everything goes to plan. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, all that shit. And then when Cell's about to deal the finishing blow to Gohan and shit, Vegeta hits him. He's got wished back because, it was vague. He's just back now. It's kind of BS. Is that JJK? Damn.
Technically makes sense? Yeah. Would it be done well? No, not at all. You would say that Gohan has plot armor if something like that happened. That's somewhat similar to what happened in JJK. Like, yes, I was happy to see Nobara return, but we gotta be real with ourselves sometimes. It being done like this makes it seem like plot armor. I'm low-key realizing I just took this opportunity to rant about the JJK manga, but I think it's well warranted. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and special thanks to making it this far. Let me know if y'all want a part 2 to this video, because I'm sure there are hundreds of instances of plot armor I didn't even mention. Also, I know there's been a noticeable absence on the channel, but I feel like at this point, it's better for me to not give y'all promises all the time and just go out there and do my thing. With that being said, have a great day and peace out.
W video, Olama-sama, bro. I think honestly, some of the things you said were absolutely unequivocally true, and some of them are a little more of a gray area, I would say. But W video nonetheless, if you enjoyed this content, please go in the description below. Please give him some love and support. I think this was a great video personally. We can debate this all day. I love to debate this shit because me personally, I only really like to debate things that I know about. Otherwise, it's pointless. That's why I didn't really say anything on the JJK point, because I don't know shit about the ending of JJK. I only seen season 1. Yeah, caught me. So I don't really know. I don't have an opinion on anything that he said there. But the way he described it to me with the Vegeta analogy, I would be a little upset about that. So let me know in the comments if that made you a little upset. I enjoyed the video. Go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to him. If you enjoyed the reaction, stay tuned. I'm trying so hard to think of good videos and good things to do for you guys and changing the content, because I know I haven't been uploading a lot lately. But just stay tuned. Stick with me. I promise it'll all work out. Join the Nakama today. Be a part of the journey just like Luffy. I'm trying to build an amazing crew. I'd love for you to be there. Yes, longtime viewers, I'm flexing it again. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one. Raise up that hand and salute. Have a good day.